Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport, and today we are doing a more modern than normal episode of Formula 1 Underrated. We have looked at stars of all eras, and we are going to return to the land of the mid-2010s with everyone's favourite Japanese superstar, Kamui Kobayashi. Now, I talked about Kamui not that long ago in my top 10 drivers from Japan video, and I have mentioned many times, far more than normal anyway, that Kamui is a favourite of mine, but I feel he is completely underrated in terms of Formula 1 drivers, and we are going to look at why today. So leave your best Kamui Kobayashi memories in the comments below, subscribe if you like what you see, and with that, sit back, relax, and let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
You know, this is the third Japanese driver I have done an underrated driver video on, so I think it is safe to say that drivers from Japan are just generally underrated and deserve better than what they are given. Japan as a country is perhaps underrated. Kamui Kobayashi was born in Amagasaki and found success in karting before moving to the big leagues of Formula Toyota in 2003. He lost out to another future Formula 1 driver in Kazuki Nakajima, but Kamui took 2 wins on his way to second place and moved to Europe and Formula Renault. He raced in various Formula Renault series in 2004, predominantly the Italian series, but he didn't make much of a splash despite a couple of wins. He returned to Formula Renault Italy in 2005, as well as Formula Renault Euro Cup, and took 6 wins in both series, taking each championship. He'd moved up to Formula 3 Euro Series in 2006 but didn't do so well, but took a win on the way to 4th place in 2007. He moved up to GP2 in 2008 and took a win with the Dams team, but struggled for points for the rest of the year and only finished 16th overall. He did take 2 wins on the way to 6th in the GP2 Asia Series. He stayed with Dams in 2009 and won the GP2 Asia Series, but again only managed a lowly 16th place in the GP2 Series. But he had done enough to prove to Japanese manufacturer Toyota that he deserved a drive in Formula 1, replacing the injured Timo Glock at the final 2 races in 2009.
Now, it's an important race for Kobayashi. The man at the front here in car number 17 hasn't scored a point since Catalonia. That's 8 races ago. And the only time he's been on the podium was the opening race in Catalonia. So certainly his GP2 Asia momentum fizzled out very quickly in the cold, choppy waters of the main series.
So how do you leave your mark on your Formula 1 debut? Well, hold off the soon-to-be champion, that's how. Kamui Kobayashi was running 6th at the Brazilian Grand Prix, holding off Jenson Button, who needed to finish well to win the championship. It was great action and made an instant fan out of me. Kamui would end the race 9th, but was described by Jenson Button as absolutely crazy and very aggressive. I think he meant it in a nice way. Probably. Kamui Kobayashi would score his first points at the final round in Abu Dhabi with a 6th place finish, and all looked good for Kobayashi to be signed by Toyota for 2010. But then Toyota pulled out, as Japanese manufacturers tend to do. Seriously, it's 2021 and Honda are pulling out for the 20th time. Luckily, Peter Sauber purchased the rights to his team from BMW and signed Kobayashi to race for them, alongside the older and far more experienced Pedro Della Rosa. Unfortunately, Kobayashi had a rough start to the year with a couple of crashes which weren't his fault alongside mechanical failures, but would score a smattering of points through the season and well outperformed Della Rosa. He spent the majority of the European Grand Prix at Valencia in 3rd on an old set of tyres and gained a reputation for being a fantastic overtaker, outbreaking everyone, with the best being a mad overtake on Fernando Alonso at Valencia. He remained at Sauber for 2011, joined by Mexican Sergio Perez. Kamui Kobayashi had a solid start to the season. He would have scored points at the first 7 races if it wasn't for a disqualification for the Sauber team in Australia. He'd only get 3 points finishes in the second half of the year, but still beat teammate Perez over the course of the season. Had a career best 5th place finish in Monaco, as well as running 2nd in Canada before the changing conditions caught him out and he dropped to 7th. His final Sauber year in 2012 was his best. He managed to score a podium in Japan at his home race in Suzuka, the first Japanese driver on the podium since Takuma Sato, and the first in Japan since Oguri Suzuki. He had good races, including qualifying third at the Chinese Grand Prix and getting fastest lap in the race, a 4th place in Germany, alongside his podium in Japan. Sadly, each of his 3 years with Sauber all ended with Kamui Kobayashi 12th in the championship. 2012 was the only season where he was beaten by his teammate. Sergio Perez beat him by just 6 points. Despite this, Sauber decided to replace Kamui Kobayashi with Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Gutierrez, and with no other drivers available for 2013, Kamui Kobayashi decided to have his first taste of the World Endurance Championship, having a season with the AF Corse Ferrari team, scoring several podiums and a 4th in class at Le Mans. He returned to Formula 1 in 2014, but it was a frustrating year with backmarker team Caterham. Kobayashi would do no better than 13th over the course of the season, and was constantly swapped in and out of the team later in the year, with the likes of Andre Lotterer taking his seat for a single race, and Roberto Merri taking practice sessions. Kamui Kobayashi expressed his frustration at the Caterham situation, which only got worse when they had to skip a couple of rounds and crowdfund the final race of the year, which Kobayashi would race alongside Will Stevens. It was a bad year and a bad situation. Caterham were almost a joke team similar to those of the early 1990s, and it was a sad end to Kobayashi's Formula 1 career, with a sad and lonely 22nd in the championship, but Kamui would move on to better things. Kamui Kobayashi had his best successes post-Formula 1. Maybe not on the level of Takuma Sato's 2 Indy 500 wins, but a damn good record nonetheless. He entered Super Formula in 2015, no wins but a 5th place overall at his first attempt. He entered the World Endurance Championship with Toyota in 2016 and managed to finish 2nd at Le Mans and 3rd overall in the series, but struggled in Super Formula. 2017 was a bad year. He failed to finish at Le Mans, only finished 5th in the WEC, 7th in Super Formula, as well as a couple of bad races in Formula E and Super GT, but 2018 was a turning point. He'd take a win in Super GT, did okay in Super Formula, and finished 2nd at Le Mans and in the World Endurance Championship before winning the 24 Hours of Daytona in 2019, finishing runner-up at Le Mans again, but a decent 6th overall in Super Formula is the best he's done in the series. In 2020 he won his 2nd Daytona 24 Hours in a row, failed to win at Le Mans again, but did win the World Endurance Championship alongside Mike Conway and Jose Maria Lopez. 2021 with the new hypercar rules, it looks like Toyota have the advantage again, and this may be Kamui's best chance to win Le Mans. He has to beat Kazuki Nakajima eventually. Surely.
They accelerate between the left-hand apex and the right. It is a total recalibration of a layman's brain to watch an LMP1 car up there.
Absolutely, the downforce that these cars have got is absolutely unreal. They're on Formula 1 levels, and when you look at the lap times around Spa, somewhere like that, where you've got a direct comparison. You know, these LMP1 cars, okay, the new F1 cars this year have taken a massive leap, but these things were catching up very fast with our former 2006.
So why do I think Kamui Kobayashi is underrated? Well, he was a good midfield runner, but more importantly, he was an exciting driver who could make things happen. He was a match for Sergio Perez, and considering where his career has gone, I think given a chance, Kamui could have done well in a top team. Sadly, that never happened, but since leaving Formula 1, he has been on the Le Mans podium 4 times, 2 Daytona 24-hour wins, plus wins and podiums in Super GT and Super Formula. I think there is a lot of motorsport successes to come for Kamui Kobayashi. Not in Formula 1, but he is a great driver nonetheless. He is thoroughly underrated. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, share the video, leave a like, and have a good one.